The answer is Holt Korea has separate records, separate files they won't send to Holt International, and Holt International doesn't ask them for. And most adoptees don't know. When I asked for all the records from Holt Korea, they conceded largely because I informed them I was sharing my search publicly and because I was starting to sound like a potential problem for them. It is ridiculous. Holt International won't ask Holt Korea for your records when you first ask for your child records. And ridiculous, Holt Korea won't be immediately forthcoming with them. So much for Holt International representing your interests with their post-adoption services. This is why having separate partners is so advantageous for Holt International. They can say that it's not their jurisdiction. They can blame everything on each other. But in the end, they both win, and you get left out in the cold with no information. These are the actions of an agency that says they have nothing to hide before you've even accused them of hiding anything. Why 2 is better than 1? Holt International can say they follow the Hague Convention, even though they partner with the second Holt, which ignores international conventions. Holt Korea can operate under protectionist policies and non-transparency that Holt International would be scrutinized for. Post-adoption services can be reduced because most adoptees in search aren't aware of their options and allow Holt International to be their advocates by telling the adoptees there is nothing important in Korea. Document, document, document. I thought Holt was my ally at first, but because of my business experience, I almost always document any communication with anyone who is not a personal friend. And I'm so glad I did, as this allowed me to go public and pressure Holt to do the right thing later when I needed it. So protect yourself. Here's what you should do. Correspond by email or letter. Gather a paper trail. Check the laws in your state for single consent recording of telephone conversations and record them if you can. If it is illegal in your state, then paraphrase your conversation in writing immediately afterwards and follow this up with an email to your adoption agency. Keep a logbook of all conversations with a synopsis. Make sure action items are followed up on in a timely manner. After the dust has settled, publish any irregularities on our Facebook page and be counted. It's sad we have to do this, but trust your instincts. That icky, talking to a dishonest used car salesman feeling is similar to the same feeling we get when we have an issue with any large multinational corporation. International adoption agencies. Are they NGOs or multinational corporations? I say they're both. I got this off the internet. It's a diagram of a multinational corporation model, though it very well could be a diagram of international adoption, even down to the countries which are the manufacturing base. There's a term for this distribution, and it's called exploitation, and it's done for profit. Let's look at some of the corporations my adoption agency partners with. Holt Korea, Holt India, Holt Sahathai Foundation, Thailand, Kosaihan Buhay Foundation, established by Holt, Philippines, Asociación para la Integración Familiar, Guatemala, Action for Children, Uganda. Why? Why the multiple Holts? I asked Holt Korea why there were separate Holts, and they told me it got too difficult for Holt to manage things in Korea from abroad. Interesting. Having partners is not necessary in these other countries where Holt International works directly. China, Ethiopia, Bulgaria, Haiti, Ukraine. Will they too become separate partners once their children grow old enough to search? My theory is they set up partner companies when they want to keep mining for babies in places that can't or won't practice ethical adoptions and post-adoption services. And by ethical, I mean protecting and preserving the child's identity. It is our God-given right to know our own identity. To deny us access to the pieces of our own puzzle is criminal. This essential knowledge is above the internal policies of a corporation and is against God, nature, and human decency. And what is decent? Keeping families together. This is what God intended. Now, how many of us have searched? How many have left the adoption agencies empty-handed, feeling manipulated, overpowered, and helpless, hopeless? Here are the statistics. Of 161,558 total official adoptees, 76,646 adoptees have searched. Yet of those, only 2,113 were successful. I was shocked. 76,646 adoptees have searched. Why do you think the statistics are so unfavorable? Let's do some math. If we factor out those adoptees too young to legally search, we're left with a more realistic picture of how important search is to the majority of adult adoptees. If we divide those who've already searched by the number of adult adoptees, we get 61%. 61% of adult adoptees have searched, and this doesn't include those who searched prior to 1995. Yet only 2.7% have succeeded. Are those numbers truly indicative of our prospects, or are they more an indication of how successful adoption agencies have been at frustrating document access in the past? Could it be because the same people who brokered our adoptions are the ones who control all access to our records? How come only the adoptees see this as a huge conflict of interest? How many of those adoptees were dissuaded or wrongfully denied access to their records? Answer: I think it's untold thousands. Let's be counted once and for all and fix this access problem before time runs out. By being tenacious, I learned my name was not mine. I learned my birthday was not mine. And I learned I might have a sister I was separated from. See any resemblance? I also learned that a multinational corporation's internal policies should not continue to violate the civil rights of the adoptees they claim to care so much about. These policies need to change, and they won't change until we expose them. Please join CAFRA, Korean Adoptees for Fair Records Access. It's a new Facebook group for Korean adoptees who have experienced undue difficulty accessing their records, both now and in the past. Thank you.